पाकर टोली बड़ा खटंगा जो गुमला झारखंड है। मुझे मैं जिस दीदी के साथ कर रही हूँ सुनीता दीदी, वो आंगनबाड़ी में काम करी। मैं इस पर दो चीज़ पे ही बात करना चाहूँगी कि मैं आंगनबाड़ी के क्वेश्चन पे कैसे पहुँची और मैं क्या करना चाहती हूँ। तो मैंने स्टार्ट इमर्शन में सुनीता दीदी के साथ हुआ, तो वो आंगनबाड़ी में काम कर रही हैं। तो मेरा इंटरेक्शन बच्चों के साथ थोड़ा मतलब स्टार्ट भी हुआ तो बच्चों के साथ हुआ, उनके थ्रू ही मैं मतलब गांव में भी उनके थ्रू ही घर घर में घूमती थी कि जहाँ भी जाना है तो उनके थ्रू मतलब दोस्ती तो बच्चे से उतना जल्दी नहीं हो पाई थी, लेकिन उनके थ्रू घूमना मैंने शुरू किया। उसके बाद एक मेरे टोली में एक चीज़ है कि जितने भी बच्चे हैं 3 साल से ऊपर, वो सारे मतलब या तो आंगनबाड़ी या प्राइवेट स्कूल स्कूल में इनरोल है, मतलब जाते हैं रेगुलर वो नहीं, बट इनरोल है एजुकेशन में। और आंगनबाड़ी दीदी घर पे ही चलाती है, तो वो मेरा मतलब मॉर्निंग का जो 10 से 12 का टाइम होता था बच्चों के साथ ही शुरू होता था। तो वो ऑब्जर्वेशन मेरा थोड़ा ज़्यादा रहा, एक्सपीरियंस मतलब ऑब्जर्व करके उनके साथ। तो जो मैंने देखा है कि आंगनबाड़ी में जैसे पढ़ाते हैं हम लोग, एक तो ये जो आंगनबाड़ी वो मिनी आंगनबाड़ी है, तो उसमें दीदी हैं जो सेविका के ये में है और उनको सहायिका नहीं मिला हुआ, क्योंकि मिनी आंगनबाड़ी का कॉन्सेप्ट है कि कोई एक ही को एम्प्लॉय किया जाएगा। तो उनके लिए वो डिफ़िकल्ट होता है आंगनबाड़ी को चलाना, या तो वो खाना बना सकती हैं बच्चों के लिए या उनको पढ़ा सकती हैं। तो और बहुत सारे ऐसे भी गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉय जो होते हैं गवर्नमेंट स्कूल या जो भी, उनको रिपोर्ट बहुत बनाना पड़ता है। तो वो जो इंस्टीट्यूशन है मतलब 1 महीने में 15 दिन मतलब इरेगुलर बहुत है, 15 दिन बंद ही रहता है, क्योंकि वही रिपोर्ट में बिजी रहती हैं, कभी ऑफिस जाना होता है। तो 4 महीने के एक्सपीरियंस मैंने भी देखा कि या तो मैं चलाती थी वो 15 दिन, जब दीदी बाहर जाती थी, नहीं तो फिर ऐसे ही बंद रहता था। तो एक तो ये दीदी की साइड से है कि वो पढ़ाना चाहती हैं, लेकिन उनके पास वैसा मतलब टाइम नहीं मिल पाता है, और अगर खोलती भी है तो खाना बनाने में टाइम चला जाता है, तो थोड़ी देर ही वो टाइम दे पाती हैं। और जो पढ़ाती भी हैं तो जैसे स्लेट पे ABCD लिखने के लिए दे दिया, वो बच्चे कॉपी करते हैं और बस उतना ही, तो वो कॉपी करते हैं, उसके बाद फिर खेलना अपने आपस में खेलना शुरू कर देते हैं। और ऐसा मतलब जैसे जितना प्री स्कूल एजुकेशन में जितना कॉन्सेप्ट मैंने पढ़ा है और जो आंगनबाड़ी जहाँ से आया है वो कॉन्सेप्ट मतलब वहाँ पे वो देखा ही वहाँ पे मतलब वो ग्राउंड लेवल पे वो उतना मतलब ग्राउंड लेवल पे उस टाइप से वर्क नहीं कर रहा है। और इस बार सेकेंड वर्ष में मैं जब गई तो वहाँ देखा कि 3 बच्चे जो है उनको दीदी ने प्राइवेट स्कूल में डाल दिया, नर्सरी, वो मेरे गांव में ही काम करता है, खुला हुआ है। तो उन दीदी से भी मैंने पूछा कि आंगनबाड़ी से निकाल करके वहाँ पे क्यों डाल दिया। उन्होंने बोला एक दीदी ने बोला कि उनको मतलब आगे की पढ़ाई इंग्लिश मीडियम में करानी है तो इनका बेस अच्छा हो जाएगा, तो वहाँ पे मतलब अभी से ही स्टार्ट कर देते हैं। तो एजुकेशन के लिए है गांव में कि लोग बच्चों को पढ़ाना चाहते हैं, लेकिन ऑप्शन जो है या तो आंगनबाड़ी है या तो प्राइवेट स्कूल है। और भी है कुछ दीदी लोग जो ना आंगनबाड़ी भी नहीं भेजती ना प्राइवेट स्कूल नहीं भेजती, दोनों में से कहीं नहीं भेजती। उन लोग का है कि जैसे वो काम करने जाती है तो दिन भर खेत में रहती है, बीच में आंगनबाड़ी में 1 बजे तक लोग बच्चों को रखते हैं, उसके बाद फिर वही लेने वापस आना पड़े, और खेत उनका मतलब काफ़ी दूर दूर में है। तो वही है कि वो बोलती है अगर 1 बजे फिर बीच में उनको लेने आना पड़ेगा तो फिर उनका उतना दूर से वो कर नहीं पाएंगी, तो वो साथ में ही लेके चले जाती हैं। और ये भी बोलती है क्या ही होता है आंगनबाड़ी में, पढ़ाई तो होती नहीं है, वैसे खाना ही मिलता है, वो तो हम भी दे देंगे, और खाना भी वैसा मतलब खिचड़ी मिलती है। तो उसकी मतलब मैंने जितना भी दीदी लोग से बात किया वो देखा है कि जो भी भेजते भी हैं आंगनबाड़ी तो वो भेजते हैं कि बच्चों को बैठाएं और मतलब कुछ सीखें वो लोग, सिर्फ न्यूट्रिशन का नहीं है उनका है कि एजुकेशन को लेकर के। और जो विद्यासागर प्राइवेट स्कूल है वहाँ पे भी मैंने बहुत टाइम स्पेंड किया, तो वहाँ पे भी देखा है कि बच्चे को जो पढ़ाया जाता है वही जो आंगनबाड़ी में जैसे कॉपी एक स्लेट पे लिख के दे देते हैं, फिर वो कॉपी करते हैं और एक दो राइम्स, मतलब वो रेगुलर का जो डेली का वैसे पढ़ाते हैं, कॉपी करना और एक ट्विंकल ट्विंकल लिटिल स्टार और जॉनी। ये
I have been proven right. चलो।
तो ये सब चीज़ को देख के फिर मतलब यही है मेरा कि मैं उन लोगों को रोक नहीं सकती कि हाँ प्राइवेट स्कूल में मत जाओ, वो तो खैर मैं नहीं कर सकती। तो मेरा है कि आंगनबाड़ी जो इंस्टीट्यूट है वो जो पब्लिक स्पेस मिला है, मतलब गवर्नमेंट जो क्रिएट किया है, उसको मेरा ये है कि उसको रिक्रिएट करना है। मतलब हाँ, एक तो दीदी का भी है प्रॉब्लम कि रेगुलर चला नहीं सकती, तो मेरा है कि जो गांव के लोग हैं उनकी कोऑपरेशन, मतलब वो लोग कोऑपरेट करके उस आंगनबाड़ी को चलाएं। और जो मतलब एक दो एक्सपेरिमेंट भी जैसे मैंने किया है कि मैंने एक बार बच्चों ने बोला कि स्टोरी सुनाने के लिए इंग्लिश का बुक ला के दिया, बोला स्टोरी सुनाने के लिए। मैंने स्टोरी हिंदी में शुरू किया, मुझे तो संथाली आती नहीं है, तो वो 2-3 लाइन सुनने के बाद फिर आपस में ही खेलना शुरू कर दिए। बोर हो गए, पता नहीं क्या, समझ में नहीं आ रहा था। वही स्टोरी जब रन थी है एक 12 साल की लड़की, उसने सुनाया तो मतलब पूरी स्टोरी उन्होंने आराम से बैठ कर सुनी, संथाली लैंग्वेज में उसने सुनाया। तो मुझे वो भी ये स्ट्राइक किया कि हाँ हो सकता है उनकी लैंग्वेज है लोकल लैंग्वेज, तो वो चीज़ उनको कैच करना, उनको समझने में मतलब शायद ईजी हो ना, मुझे नहीं पता कंफर्म कि वो क्या था। और एक बार रिंकी है जो मैं सुनीता दीदी के साथ रहती है, उसने भी एक बार जो कखा पढ़ाते हैं, तो ऐसे तो हिंदी वाला जो है क्लासे कबूतर वो सब, लेकिन उसने मैंने उसे बोला कि तुम्हारे गांव में जो चीज़ है जो तुम मतलब देखते हो, जैसे टफ और टमरस उसने पढ़ाया था, वो होता है उसका मतलब था गुआवा। ट से टमाटर वो लोग नहीं समझते, बिलौती बोलते हैं, लेकिन ट से टमरस समझते हैं। और वो जो क से उसने यहाँ तक पढ़ाया, वही कुछ चीज़ मतलब गांव का वर्ड यूज़ करके, तो वो था कि बच्चे बैठ के सुन रहे हैं, बोल रहे हैं। और ऐसे दीदी जब क्लास कबूतर सब पढ़ाती तो मतलब अंग के बाद उनका भी हो जाता है, बच्चे इधर उधर खेलना शुरू कर देते हैं। तो उसी चीज़ को लेकर के मेरा है कि मतलब क्या क्रिएट किया जाए वो मुझे नहीं पता, लेकिन हाँ एक तो रेगुलर स्कूल चले, उसका है लोगों के हेल्प से लोग आकर के पढ़ाएं और उनका मतलब अपने कल्चर और सब ट्रेडिशन के बारे में।
Vijeta didn't present it fully. She's a little shy type. What I understood of her work, and Vijeta largely that India Habitat Center discussion, where it happens is also important. And it was a beautiful discussion that day that she did. That one is the school system that is set up already, and then there are these mushrooming private schools, and some didis are sending students to private schools, and some cannot send to private schools. That's the important tweak. There are some who cannot send to school because they are kind of, as I understood more or less that day, single. So they can't leave their. So the Anganwadi school is going to end at 12 o'clock, right? And then where will the baby be? Because she will come back at 5 o'clock. So she has to take the child to the field. So there are 3 layers over here. One who can't send the child to school. 2 who are sending to schools, government schools, because they cannot afford private schools. And then there are others who are sending to private schools. 1 layer. Second layer, private schools are also teaching Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and this Anganwadi Didi is also teaching Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And what purchase does it have in the lives of Santhali students is always a question. And this I have done with you all. White Tagore wrote such part. He wrote the children's primer again, because he did not want to teach Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or Humpty Dumpty to students. So in that sense, and the entire educational program Tagore ran was to actually rethink this question. So then the question comes that who are we to tell Didis to not send children to private, which is the usual, which is the standard research procedure. We will write a great dissertation on privatization of education. And my own son is studying in St. Xavier's. Or some neoliberal education. बढ़िया critique लगा दिए. So that is one. So Vijeta did not want to do that, which also shows the depth of her engagement. कि ये बोल के कोई फायदा नहीं. So what she thought was to strengthen the Anganwadi government public school access. And the discussion then turned in two directions. One is this Anganwadi Didi cannot teach because she has to cook. So can a community of women volunteers be created who, because they want the school to be run, participate, help the Anganwadi Didi? Why is it only her job to cook for all the children? Why can't she help? Somebody may cut the vegetables, actually. And women, how many households did we calculate? 63 households. So even if one person volunteers, and it's 1 in 2 months, one day you volunteer, and Saturday, Sundays are as it is off. So it will be just one day in say 75 days. Okay. You volunteer, help the Anganwadi Didi so that the Didi can teach. Now so that is one thought we had. And can the community also take care of these two Didis who can't send their children to school because 12 to 4, yeah, 12 to 3, pata nahi kahan rahega bachcha. So can that also be? So one, a word with women's groups, and see whether a strengthened public education system can be created. Number one. Number two is, even if a strengthened education system is created, and this was pointed out by Vijeta quite well, I think, the Anganwadi Didi is going to still teach Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And there she had an idea that there are educated young children, young adults, I don't know what to call them, who are say age 14 in the village, who know Santali, and with them can a group be run to build a text, a Sahaj Path, a Santali Sahaj Path, a children's primer, and let us do the very basic one, building on the rivers. So Tagore would say, "Amader choto nodi chole aake baki." So there's a river over there which has to be taught. Okay. So what are the hills? What are the rivers? What are the plants? Okay. Based on that, can a children's primer be created? Okay. And maybe if it's good enough, it can be printed, and it can be. Niveda, here I want to bring you in. It can be a CDP Pradhan production. Actually, we publish a kind of children's primer in Santali, maybe Santali and English. Okay, it's better students are bilingual rather than monolingual in either direction. Fully Santali, fully English. Okay, so in that sense, it can be a product she can create. It's an output, and it can be left behind. And later, Shubhakant and others, Binju and others will take it forward. Maybe talking to Dayamani Barla would be a good idea. She may help you create texts. And in that sense, so a very small local effect, local action, which is to involve the women in the villages to see, and a reflection on that. And second is to create at least one primer, even if it can't be printed, at least a kind of, and since we have already become School of Culture and Creative Expression, May not be a bad idea to have like pictures and all. Karuna is somebody who does very good work, but I don't know whether Karuna can give time. Karuna was MPhil psychotherapy actually. She's a painter, as also a kind of creative mind, a poet. She did her MPhil in psychotherapy over here. She creates these kinds of graphic novel texts. She actually did one on menstruation, working with women in Chennai. What is the experience of menstruation, etc. Deepika, for you also. In that sense, a local work, and then a more broader work, Vijeta, right? That's what we thought, and that text can help us build a way. I would have been happy had Gautam been here, because we have then two works on education, Vijeta and Gautam. So like that, if there can be some communication also between you and Gautam, you can see also how his work is.
Together, these two works are also speaking to each other. They're different yet speaking to each other.
Actually, I'm feeling very peculiar at this moment. I don't have a word. Because when I read Vijeta's, I read the first two immersion reports, the other one came much later. But and also as I was listening, this was the exact thought that was going on in my mind. And but I had framed it a little bit differently. And it's a little bit, I don't mean to impose it, but since you spoke about it, it's my own kind of secret desire for this. I was thinking also not only of this batch, but see, from one is, it was keeping curriculum at the center. I think this is an issue we are talking about all the time. Now this is the 5th year, where curriculum in the idiom and the language of the...
Last year also.
Every
with
year.
Neeraj's work.
Typical, this is something, it's obviously a huge need that is just not being addressed. So building one or two things or looking at it in a curricular fashion, that's one question going on in my mind. And particularly with this, and there's so many aspects to building a curriculum, which is, I'll come to that. The second part that was going on in my mind is, can we look at, say, for example, what, I know you also have been saying this, that can we refer to our own work, students' work, as much as possible. Now, for example, Kelsan.
Who worked?
Kelsan worked exactly there in this exact space, and there was one extra complication. The extra complication was that the Self-Help Group Federation was actively setting up its own private school.
Yeah. And we were there in that meeting.
We were there in that meeting.
You, me and Professor Menon.
Yeah. And so there is a whole movement away from thinking of having any faith in the government system, but the desire or strengthening it. Because after all, you can't expect them to strengthen it. And it's not only parent involvement that's going to strengthen it. There are huge challenges, as we all know. But curricular issues, if those very schools, we could actually build a curriculum and nobody else knows the language. So it's not because you're women or men, but the idiom and the language is only known by those people and perhaps a handful of scholars. Those NAAC reviewers who came, they made us tall promises, remember? He said, I am from the Institute of Tribal Studies.
Oh, that man.
I am from the University of so on. But they claim to have done a lot of work. So those fellows, we need to get them involved in real people's lives. Then there's such good work being done by Nirantar, for instance, on women's functional literacy. There's one group I'm very engaged with in Delhi that works on education. It's called Ankur. They're very good at curricular work. So maybe, since you're going to be in Delhi, if you could explore something like this, that we look at others. This batch, what's coming is, your batch is a different kind of batch. But I believe that Pradhanites can also be dragged in as co-researchers.
We have to drag.
We have to drag. I'm saying drag in capital DRAG. Because, for instance, Nikita's play, if the audience is Pradhanites, you're dragging them in, right? It's not that they're coming. It's like a Trojan horse.
Yeah.
So we have to set up these little Trojan horses.
Yeah.
And we have to bring people in to engage with the new ideas. Because otherwise, they are one vector, one carrier of the germs of your ideas.
Yeah.
There may be many others. So can we think of curricular way of rather than just one or two. Then
Just not the community
then you
involvement.
can do one part, but then Vijeta, you may have a longer term.
Yes.
We don't have to think of the MPhil as the
Yeah,
end of your
think of a
life.
longer term.
So we can think of this as building something,
Yeah.
or is that too overwhelming for you just now to think of all this at the same time?
No, it's not over.
Not over.
Do it.
Lal Salam.
Do it.
Because कुछ तो नया बनेगा.
And let also take a quick look Saturday, Sunday at Kelsan, Kiden,
I think-
Shruti,
Kelsa.
all the we are now quite a
Education.
education and health group.
Plus, we are sitting in this university. I don't believe any university in India, I don't know, I'm perhaps partial to AUD, has got a better education department.
Yeah, no.
And we have just not drawn adequately on it.
Actually, education departments are very bad. This one is the big one.
And then we have
It's the
CSET
only
also.
good one, it's not only the best.
Yeah.
Then we also have CSET.
That's all one. I mean, I'm putting that all.
Education, psychology.
Psychology, this is the only one.
So anyway, that's not the point. Education is a very strong department over here, and if you can do this work, your own vice chancellor would be very interested in this work. He was supervisor to Kiden.
Kelsa.
Kelsa. So that would be very
It's a
good.
way to get him engaged again.
Also,
I
yeah.
think we are losing
Get
his
him
engagement.
involved.
He's fabulous.
Yeah. So
In fact, Gunjan also,
Gunjan is very good.
Yeah. Actually, Kelsan has spoken to me and she was very happy to be Gunjan's sister. She's spoken about it.
But to have Professor Menon, he may not assist you, but he may
yeah.
bring in a different
Also, I'll tell you something.
world-changing picture.
कैमरा बंद होने के बाद बोलेंगे थोड़ा सा नहीं बंद मत कर
नहीं स्टैंड बाय कर देता हूँ.
तो
Articulate that and do a tiny bit. It gives us, as Anup has been saying, this and the ethical guidebook for the, so that other students can do other parts of it, so that it fits.
even my big question is, Vijeta, what is an educational praxis in an Adivasi context?
I mean, it's coming in the Delhi context. Yesterday, I found it very interesting. Sorry to tell this, I won't speak after this. Yesterday, Indian Express made, after our discussion after Gautam, the Vivek Devroy's piece.
Oh,
Education and learning.
Learning, I
And
saw.
I didn't know, but this credit system, that was the object of his,
Yeah.
scathing comments. Not that I'm a big fan of his, huh? I mean,
None of us.
the fellows are
Yeah,
turncoat.
really.
But anyway,
And it's economic philosophy.
but the thing is, he linked it with that Carnegie system. And how the Carnegie system actually, it came from industrial efficiency in the academic setup.
Yeah.
So the origin of the credit system, which we all love so much, not that
Coming
I
from that factory production.
Yeah.
What? Now I want to hear the others
Sorry,
as Vijeta's supervisor.
I think it will be, there's very exciting done among the Rohingyas in Bangladesh. Particularly, and I think I take that work as a reference by basically Meghna Muthakar's group. I don't know what's the name, forgetting the name. But very exciting work in Rohingya, because Rohingya is not considered to be a state language of Bangladesh. And within that context, how do you come up with a curriculum? And because here you have a context where the language is still recognized to a certain extent, right? And you have a few social linguists who have worked in this area. There is, I know only there's one work because which I had to proofread, but that work actually showed, it is also important to educate the educators. So that lady who is teaching Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and now she's carrying on, this friend of mine, she's carrying on this her little endeavor to go and speak to the teachers who speak the Rajbangshi language, to go and tell them constantly that be bilingual in the classrooms. And what it is, and the challenge of being bilingual is enormous, considering considering at least in my pedagogy, I'm not buying. So, and it specifically works with children. So what she did was that when you're developing a curriculum, what she did was actually use storybook analysis, and this is a storybook content analysis, which is more or less a standard method that Eklavya works on to develop this primers. And she does one of those, from a social linguist angle. So, what came out of that is that, and this is where, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star can be rewritten in another fashion. I mean, Shahujpat is, Shahujpat, I think, is a sort of a very creative engagement with children's literature. But children's literature is also very violent. And we need to keep that in mind. That because Alice in the Wonderland is the most violent thing, now looking back at it, it's the most violent thing. And all of them.
No, children's fantasy literature will always be violent.
Children's fantasy literature
is always violent.
Is always violent. Children's fantasy literature is violent. On the other hand, but without, and I don't know if I think it has been sarcastic about the School of Culture and Creative Expression.
Yeah.
He is being sarcastic about it.
Yes.
And
No.
he is being sarcastic about it, but even when he is saying that, I think there is a possibility to also take inspiration from works which have been done in a context where the language is not recognized. Because how did they came up with how did they engage with a sort of a model where, because to come to class, I need to have a guideline in place, what is the expectation around, right? And I think particularly with primary school teachers, and this is what I learned. I have not learned from any of the books. Is what I learned from the primary school teachers this friend works with. She goes through these amazing sessions where she goes and asks, what are you expecting? And they're like, this is something that has never been clear to us. What is expected of us? Because what you're taught are the disciplines. You go with those disciplines into a space, and then there is gamut of children and their emotions and I don't know whatnot. And then how do you do that? And this has been the struggle with the Anganwadi and some of the researchers who have worked with Anganwadi in the standard research projects will tell you that this has been a lifelong struggle even for them, that how to engage. As far as community kitchen is concerned, I think an imagination around that can also become extremely productive when you think of linking that to education. Like, food canteen is something that is seen as outside of the school process. We do not take it really seriously in this country, and that is to do with midday meals or anything. Like, it is not treated as a serious object of study which can bridge the curriculum. Like, we will teach A for apples and T for tomatoes, and that's it. But there's this life world around that, which is important to be spoken about, and this is what exactly Tagore in fact does in many of the children's writing, and that is where I think I don't know, as a child I enjoyed reading some of the stuff by him rather than anybody else. So I think there's a possibility of linking the food and the ecosystem in the curriculum that you're talking about, because and this is a knowledge that the women themselves have. It's not that you have to step outside. But you can look at this amazing work by in the Rohingya refugee camps on the primary school education.
I have been traveling with children from a Shanthali village. Now, even there I saw that people, like generally in the primary schools and in the Anganwadi, teachers just teach them how to draw alphabets. So people were only drawing things. Copy. There's nothing in in that sense, in the sense of cognition. How do I perceive things? What is so and they are copying something like apples and pineapples, which they have never seen. So and they draw it and then they write tomato below, but in fact they call it bilal. So that is where we located that there is no correlation between what is there out there in the real and what is there on the textbook. They are sons and daughters of people who are farming, who know their land very well, but when they go to school there is no correlation with that. So we were trying to sort of think how we can have a relation between the two. And one of the elders in the village, she was a really old lady. She said that if we can actually think of साइंस लाइक हम लोग तो साइंस पढ़ाते हैं स्कूल में, तो साइंस आप पढ़ा के अगर हम लोग कौन सी सीजन में कौन सी सीड्स लगाते हैं, सो वी गेट टू नो थिंग्स एट ऑन हैंड. सो वी स्टार्टेड एक्सपेरिमेंटिंग विद दैट एंड दैट टर्न्ड आउट टू बी मच मोर इफेक्टिव. But instantly what happened was that the parents of the students who were coming to the school, they got angry that why are you not doing what is required? Why are you doing something that no one will listen? So there was a sort of a correspondence between us who were trying to think something else. So alternative thought हम लोग बता तो देते हैं इधर, but when we try to go out and do it, it becomes a big problem because we will only be able to do that education for 2 years, and then we need to link them with a primary school. In the primary school, they will have to go back to that, in that sense, cognitive education, no more sensorial education. So sensory education is a great thing, yes, we have to do it, but when we cannot afford to continue it for more than 2 years, then I was really thinking then what can be a response to this. We tried to negotiate with the parents as well, but then we were also not successful in doing that, because somewhere they know that at the end of the day, the aspiration is somewhere else. The aspiration is to become a government servant or a peon or a So have you really been able to negotiate or think something that how can we address this problem also? I'm grappling with that, so I'm just bouncing.
In any case, it's not an either or proposition.
Yeah.
In the Rambika school, we are in many cases the same issue. Issue varies too. So there are ways in which it's taken on. One has to look at it in terms of larger curriculum questions. You can't look at it as
Single. It
it's
cannot
not
be
about
one
setting up
single.
2 years giving out. Unless it's in the Anganwadi system, which is a different, it's coming more from a different angle. So it depends.
Fixed on the syllabus भी नहीं है ना.
Well, the problem is that even when we think of it from a policy sense, I tried to talk in like the education, there were like a few educational officers from the bureaucracy. We tried to talk with them that if we can actually think of such education. But then the people said that, in fact, that the officer was very sensible. He responded very positively to our efforts, and he said that, you see, the moment we try to make it into a policy, it will become some sort of what happens is that, say, the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan also, like they are saying that we have a set plan for the whole of the state based on the linguistic divisions that we have made. But the moment we try to put it in a system, it becomes standardized, and then it becomes difficult to involve and include these regional differences. That
Vijeta. Maybe because the advisor whether you want to shift to what some Let me just get from it.